Good morning, friends. It's 4:44 in the morning. If any of this resonates with you, then look up that angel number 444 because it's meant for you. I don't believe in coincidences, so I believe that's meant for you. What is love? You know, when I was in high school back in the 90s, 91s, when I graduated, I wrote a poem because I used to write back then a lot more stuff. And one poem that I wrote particularly was titled "What Is Love?" And the idea of what I thought love was back then in 1991 is totally different from what I feel and know love to be now, here in 2024 at 51 years old. And I'm going to share with you some insights that I've kind of come to really know now that I think is worth kind of sharing. And maybe if you're questioning, is this really love or is this infatuation? Is this something other than that? But here's my personal insight for you. After coming out of a real bad relationship, and numerous ones before that, here's what I've kind of learned. Particularly this past week. This past week, a really special person really, enlightened me about some stuff. And awakened my eyes to some things that I was doing that I really, some things I knew I was doing, but I didn't necessarily know totally why I was doing it. And other things that I didn't know. There's one of the key things right there is when you're in love with somebody, you can listen to what they're about to say, criticism or things that they've noticed, and maybe things that you need to work on, maybe things that they're asking you to work on that they're not coming right out and saying, hey, I'm needing you to do this. But they bring it to your attention. And you don't get mad, you don't get upset at them. Maybe you get upset at yourself for carrying this stuff or whatever for so long, but you're not mad at them. And you're able to understand, wow, that's amazing that they feel comfortable enough, they feel safe enough to say these things and not be concerned that I'm going to, jump down their throat about it. I've come to realize that love is when you're healing with somebody and you don't even really know it until you get that aha moment. That they are triggering things in you. They are bringing up things like this that you need to work on, and you're bringing up things to them that they need to work on. You're awakening them to new experiences, and they're awakening you to new experiences. They're making you feel things that maybe you haven't felt in a long time, and vice versa. This is a mutual thing that's going on between the two of you. You're saying things, you feel so safe and able to be so vulnerable with this person like you've never been with anybody else, and you're telling them things you've never told anybody else. And you don't even realize it because the conversation just flows. Minutes turn, seconds turn into minutes turn into hours, and hours just go on and on like no time has passed between the two of you. And the next thing you know, 4 or 5 hours have gone by, and you're like, wow, I can't believe we've been talking this long. I never really done that before. This is, and it's not forced. It's not fake. It just flows smoothly. And you can be talking about any and everything, stuff that maybe they think that they've been afraid to talk to people about because they thought they'd be seen as crazy, and you as well. But they get it, and you get it. You get each other. But it's not faked. And there is a mutual respect between the two of you. And it's amazing. But going back to this being vulnerable enough to say things. You said things that you never told anybody else, and them as well. But it's okay. It's like, I don't have to worry that they're going to see me as crazy or, something along those lines, because they get it. You don't worry about them seeing you in a bad light. Or if you do, you don't go keeping it in your mind all is at the forefront of your thoughts. You're able to maybe think about it and let it go. It's it's real. You feel it. You feel it. There's such a comfort with them, and the peace that they bring you is a peace that you've never felt before. Never felt before. But now you feel it with this person. And maybe you're a person that maybe had stopped really enjoying life. Maybe you kind of shut down. Maybe you didn't laugh as much, and maybe you didn't smile as much. But they've reawakened that in you. Maybe they've ignited something in you that gives you a hope. And maybe you've done that in them. Maybe they've restored your faith in love. And maybe you've restored their faith in love. And no matter how much both of you are afraid, how much both of you maybe deny the feelings, you both know with everything in you, you can't fight that. You can't fight it because you feel it so strongly. It's not like it has to be labeled even. It's not like where you've been in a relationship before. And maybe if you were like me, you had to label it immediately. Because if you didn't label it, then it wasn't real. That's always been something that's been there with me, that I've got to label it. If I don't label it, then it's not real. Or it's harder for them maybe to leave me if it's labeled. And it didn't make a hill of beans at the end of the day. But now you've come to realize that you don't need it to be labeled. That the label will come in time. Or, whatever the case would be with it. But right at this moment, you don't need it. You don't need it. You wake up in the morning and the first thought in your mind is that person. All throughout the day is that person. You go to bed at night, that person. You wake up in the middle of the night and the first thing you think of is that person. And when you close your eyes again, it's that person. That's love. That's not. This is deeper than infatuation or something like that. It's deep. You just feel it. You know that you know that you know, as that's my thing. I know that I know that I know. It's real. It's unlike any other feelings you've had for someone. They make you feel alive, appreciated, understood, seen, acknowledged. They make you want to be better. They make you strive to want to be better, not only for yourself, but for them. You can see a future with this person, and it's like right here. It's like right here. There's things in front of it that you got to get around and get through, but it's like right here. That's what love is. It's when you're able to forgive. It's when you have an argument or a little spiff or something like that. Maybe you go a week or so without talking to each other. You think about them every day. And you yearn to talk to them. And you're thinking that whole time, what are they doing? Why haven't they called? And then the next thing you know, you're talking to each other again, and you apologize, and it's like no time has been missed between the two of you. You've learned something in that time, and you're able to work through that. That's love. That's love, when you've got that kind of respect for each other and a willingness to make it work. If this resonates with you in any kind of way, then you keep fighting and hold on.